Welcome to the deep dive. You send us your sources, articles, research, the stuff you're trying to wrap your head around.
And we dig in, pull out the key takeaways for you.
Exactly. So today we're looking at a really interesting piece from Pulse Rundown. It's their list of the top 10 medical breakthroughs from the start of 2025, January through May.
Yeah, I looked through and it's quite a mix. I mean, everything from actual organ transplants, brand new ones, to gene editing. Even AI is in there.
Right. And the overall feeling you get from the source, from Pulse Rundown, is pretty optimistic, wouldn't you say, about where healthcare is heading.
Definitely. There's a real sense of momentum.
So our mission today is basically to cut through the complexity. Medical news flies fast.
Here it is.
We want to break down these 10 breakthroughs, talk about why they matter, so you get a good handle on them without needing a PhD.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Okay, let's dive in with number 1. This one's pretty huge. The world's first ever human bladder transplant.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that happened at UCLA just back in May 2025.
Right. The patient, Oscar Lorenzar, he actually received a kidney too, from the same donor.
And the surgeon leading it was Dr. Nima Nassiri, an 8-hour operation, I believe.
Think about what this means. For people with, really damaged bladders, maybe from birth defects or cancer, their options before were pretty limited.
Yeah, very limited, often meaning significant impact on just daily life.
Pulse Rundown had a great line for it. They said, it's the difference between living with constant pain or limitations and regaining normal function. That really hits home.
It does. It highlights the quality of life aspect. But the surgery itself, technically, that must have been incredibly challenging.
I mean, beyond just the plumbing, the connections.
Exactly. Getting a reliable blood supply established to the new bladder and ensuring the nerves, hoping the nerves regenerate enough for proper function, that's always been a huge hurdle.
So this success suggests they've made real progress there.
It certainly seems like it. It could, potentially redefine parts of urology and transplantation. It's a big step.
Okay, so from major surgery, let's go micro, to gene editing. Breakthrough number 2 involves CRISPR.
Ah, yes, the genetic scissors. This one's about a baby, just 9 months old, named KJ, at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
And KJ had this condition, CPS1 deficiency?
Right. It's a rare and often deadly genetic disorder. Basically, the body can't break down waste nitrogen. Ammonia builds up to toxic levels.
Awful. So how did CRISPR help?
Well, they used it to, quite literally, snip out or fix the faulty gene mutation in the baby's liver cells.
And this wasn't like an off-the-shelf thing, was it? It was personalized.
Exactly. That's key. It was tailored specifically to KJ's unique DNA sequence. That level of precision is just remarkable.
Does this sort of thing open up possibilities for fixing these conditions even earlier? Maybe even before birth eventually?
That's the long-term hope, definitely. This specific treatment fixed existing cells, but the success really validates the whole approach, using gene editing to get at the root cause.
It gives incredible hope, I imagine, for families getting these rare diagnoses. The idea that kids could not just survive, but really thrive.
Absolutely. It's a profound shift.
Okay, number 3. This one tackles diagnosis speed. Brain tumors. Usually diagnosis takes weeks, right? An agonizing wait.
Yeah, that waiting period is incredibly stressful for patients and families. But this new method, developed in the UK, it's called RobinRobin.
Robin. Okay.
It can apparently identify brain tumors in about 2 hours.
2 hours? How?
They're using something called nanopore sequencers. These are like really compact devices that can analyze tissue samples right there in the operating room.
So no sending samples off to a lab and waiting days or weeks.
Exactly. Pulse Rundown called it replacing a long, winding road with a medical superhighway.
That's a good analogy. Speed is everything in that situation.
It really is. Getting that diagnosis fast means treatment can start sooner, which, almost always leads to better potential outcomes.
And it's accurate.
Early trials are showing about 90% accuracy, so yeah, very promising.
Wow. Okay, switching gears again. Let's talk rheumatoid arthritis. Millions suffer from it. Breakthrough number 4 is a bioelectronic implant.
Right, this is from a company called SetPoint Medical. It's a small device about the size of a coin.
And where does it go?
It's implanted in the neck. Its job is to send tiny electrical signals through the vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve.
Yeah.
That's the one that connects the brain to lots of organs.
That's the one, and it plays a big role in regulating inflammation. So the implant essentially tells the nerve to kind of dial down the body's inflammatory response, like flipping an internal switch, as the source puts it.
And patients are feeling a difference.
Apparently, yes. Reports of less pain, better mobility, and needing fewer medications, which is huge for RA patients.
And it sounds like it's tackling the inflammation itself, not just the pain symptoms.
That's the goal, yes. Addressing the underlying mechanism.
Are there any downsides? Long-term effects of stimulating that nerve?
Well, that's what the ongoing studies are looking at, the long-term safety and effectiveness. But the initial results are certainly encouraging. It's pending FDA approval right now.
If approved, that could be life-changing for so many.
Absolutely. Millions could potentially benefit.
Okay, next up, HIV. A notoriously difficult virus to tackle. Number 5 offers some new hope, using something called germline targeting.
Yeah, this involves 2 clinical trials. The basic idea, germline targeting, is to sort of train or nudge the immune system very early on to create what are called broadly neutralizing antibodies.
Broadly neutralizing, meaning they can fight off lots of different HIV strains.
Exactly. HIV mutates so rapidly, that's always been a major challenge for vaccine development. These special antibodies could potentially handle that diversity.
And what's this about mRNA tech being involved? Like the COVID vaccines?
Right. One of the trials is using Moderna's mRNA platform, same basic technology, but obviously applied in a totally new way here for HIV.
And the article stressed this specific approach, germline targeting, hasn't actually worked in humans before this.
That's right. It's a novel strategy, and seeing positive signals in these trials is, well, pretty significant.
After decades of searching for an HIV vaccine, this could be a real turning point.
It could be. It offers a genuine glimmer of hope that we might finally be on the right track. It's still early days for these trials, but definitely hopeful.
Okay, let's move to prostate cancer. Number 6, very common cancer in men. Sounds like progress is being made on treatment and detection.
Yes, definitely. On the treatment side, there are newer hormone-suppressing pills like relugolix. They can replace the need for injections, which is, more convenient.
Makes sense.
And other drugs, darolutamide and zolidamide. They're good at blocking testosterone's role in fueling the cancer's growth.
So better treatment options. What about finding it earlier?
That's improving too. There are newer blood tests, like ISOPSA, which seems to be more accurate in detecting clinically significant cancer.
Meaning fewer unnecessary biopsies.
That's the idea. And advanced MRI scans are also getting better at spotting tumors earlier, more accurately, and less invasively.
So putting it all together.
It's moving towards what Pulse Rundown called a smarter, less invasive way to beat a tough opponent.
Makes sense. Now, number 7, Alzheimer's disease. A huge challenge. What's the good news here?
Quite a bit, actually. Big strides in early detection. We're talking simple finger prick blood tests now.
Seriously,
Huh.
a finger prick for Alzheimer's.
Yeah. And some are showing accuracy rates over 90%.
That's incredible. Any specific tests mentioned?
Pulse Rundown highlighted one from Monash University called the CanSen test. Apparently, it's fast and affordable.
Which could make early screening much more routine, right? Like cholesterol checks.
Exactly. Catching it early can make a huge difference in management. And on the treatment side, research is still focused on reducing those amyloid plaques in the brain.
Protein clumps.
Right. And they're also exploring new ways to deliver drugs, like nasal spray vaccines, trying to get treatments directly to the brain more effectively.
So it feels less like just searching for a cure and more like they're actively closing in, as the article says, finding ways to manage it better and earlier.
I think that's a fair assessment. While the ultimate cure is still the goal, these steps in early detection and slowing progression offer real, tangible hope right now.
Okay, let's talk about new drug approvals. Number 8 covers 2 new cancer drugs greenlit by the FDA this spring.
Yes. First one is Emrelis. This targets lung cancer, but specifically in patients who have a high level of something called the c-MET mutation.
So very targeted, precision medicine.
Exactly, matching the drug to the tumor-specific characteristics. The second approval was for a combination of avutametinib and defactinib.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's aimed at a type of ovarian cancer that's known to be very difficult to treat.
So for patients who maybe haven't responded well to other treatments.
Right. These new drugs can offer a crucial new option. A second chance at life is how the source described it for some.
That's powerful. Okay, number 9 takes us to hemophilia, a new treatment called fitusiran, approved in March.
Yeah, fitusiran. Hemophilia, as you know, makes bleeding dangerous. This drug uses RNA technology.
How does that work?
It works by reducing levels of a protein called antithrombin. Antithrombin normally prevents clotting, so by lowering it, fiduseurin helps the blood clot more normally.
And it works for both major types, hemophilia A and B.
Yes, reports indicate effectiveness for both.
The results.
Early reports suggest patients have fewer bleeding episodes, better quality of life. It seems to offer a safer and simpler way to manage the condition compared to frequent infusions of clotting factors.
That sounds like a significant improvement.
It really does seem to be.
All right, we've reached number 10. And this one isn't a drug or a device, but technology, artificial intelligence.
Yes, AI and drug discovery. This is having a huge impact across the board.
How so? What's AI doing?
Well, think about the sheer amount of data in medical research. Genomic data, trial results, chemical structures. AI algorithms can process and analyze all of that incredibly quickly, far faster than humans.
So it can spot patterns or make predictions?
Exactly. It can help predict how a potential drug might work, what side effects it might have, even identify existing drugs that could be repurposed. It can shave years off the drug development timeline.
Years. Wow. The article's analogy was like a GPS for pharmaceutical science.
That's a good way to put it. It helps researchers navigate that complex landscape much more efficiently, guiding them towards the most promising targets and away from dead ends.
And this isn't just for one disease.
No, not at all. It's accelerating work in everything from cancer to, very rare genetic conditions. It's a foundational shift.
So that's the 10.
Yeah.
Quite a list. Bladder transplants, gene editing, faster diagnostics, implants, HIV progress, smarter cancer care, Alzheimer's breakthroughs, new drugs, hemophilia treatment, and AI speeding everything up.
It really covers a lot of ground. And like we said at the start, the overall tone from Pulse Rundown is definitely one of optimism. These aren't just theories, they're tangible advancements happening now.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing all this progress packed into just the first 5 months of 2025.
Yeah.
It leaves you wondering, with innovation moving this fast, what things that seem like science fiction today might actually become medical reality, maybe sooner than we think?
It's a fascinating question. What's next on the horizon?
Definitely something to ponder.